Hello members, and welcome to another weekly market update. Please, as always, see the other video. I talk about the overall market conditions, that's separate, and of course cryptocurrencies. So here's where I look over my shoulder and think aloud at some individual trades I've got going on, or thinking about going on. Let's just check in with the A50R. I don't do this in the other stock market video because this is a bit more sort of in-depth intel for members only. Here we can catch up on the situation since last week, and I said the sort of elastic band system had sort of almost like given people another chance here, and it sort of went back to 30 and off it went, although the stock market itself hadn't gone down as hard as before. So that just sort of, what we can see is the sort of double bottom of the stock market sort of represented there as well. I like which way this is going now, pointing up, and hopefully that's all good. And this just created that entry point that I talked about at the last seminar when I was really looking for, this bull market's well underway, but looking to add to the bullish position as and when the train pulled into the station, as it had been doing recently. And this is the kind of invisible like our X-ray specs, as it were, the A50R, to see what's going on. And in this instance, this time it gave us that elastic band system trigger as well. Let's look at oil. I think I got beaten up a bit this week, but then it came back again. So looking good. This was a sort of entry point based on a long-term breakout, as I showed you last week. All is fine. And the pound. You see, when you can read a chart, you're everything. Your commodity traders, your currency traders, you name it. If it can be charted, you can trade it. And there's the pound, and still on that upwards trend, and it's holding that nicely actually after sort of correcting a little bit. Well, as you know, I was in down here, so that's a really nice currency trade. Let's look at PICO, and as you know, that one was down there. I just like to keep, out of morbid curiosity, really, just see what happens next with some trades. And that one sort of stayed down after it got down with a very small loss. Well, actually it wasn't small loss because I was in around there, and even though it was out there, even though it went below the 200-day, that's actually a small gain. What else we got? Tile. As you know, I was in down there as it kissed the 200 and up, stepping up. Just about hung on there actually of that sort of support line, if you were still in it or not. And it's been doing great, even with the market playing around in at like 18, up at 25. So that's getting on for a nice 50% gain from the stock alone on that one. ANSS. As you know, I was in down there at 120, and this stock's just been great. It's just been powering ahead, and the new high at the end of the week, 120 up to 170. That's a $50 gain, or 5,000 points if you were spread betting that, and almost getting on for a 50% gain just from the stock alone. Bull markets are wonderful things if you're going with the trend. What else have we got here? Let's look at IMMU. And I was in down there, 897. It's running up there to 1730 now, so that's getting on for 100% gain from the stock alone. What else have we got? RDNT was something. I don't always remember to get all the trades in that I'm looking at, but this is one I mentioned I think a couple of weeks ago. And it just did with the chart. What was exciting about this was look how clean this support was as it was on this collision course with the rising 200-day, my favorite classic trade. And there it is, right there in motion. That was just a gift. And it hits this as if it was a brick wall and then shoots right up on high volume, and hopefully just hold that high ground there. That would have been enough to set the option price on fire. Let's check in. What else have we got? Here's just a few I am looking at thinking aloud as I look at them right now. That caught my eye. I haven't really had a chance to look at them yet, so I'll save them for the weekend. CPRX. Obviously, that's a pretty picture. Look at how it's respecting its 40-week, and right now could just be on that sweet spot we look for. It's leveled off a little bit, still in a downtrend. It's not perfect. Well, let's just check the daily chart. All right, and it's sort of the falling knife has sort of dropped on the ground a bit. It's hanging right in there. This is a penny stock as well, you know. So if I was to get in there, now is really the entry point. With a stop at around, say, like $3. When it's penny stocks like this, you have to be a bit more generous with the stop losses because it's, you know, it's just so penny. There's no easy way to say that. But, you know, you can see what I'm getting at. You know, if it goes below that 40 week, then I'm out. You know, there's not much loss there at all. But with stocks like this, you know, if you haven't got much money you want to put down, I mean, you know, $100 gets you, you know, a lot of shares in CPRX. Let's look at GDEN. Golden Entertainment. There's that line again. Let's check the daily chart. Still a bit of a downtrend. Could do with a bit of leveling off. Not as happy about this as the other one. Maybe one to keep on the radar there and just maybe let it just sort of straighten out a little bit more, break this downwards trend by heading sideways a bit more. If you want to keep an eye on that one, you could. I'm also interested in the Canadian dollar right now from a fundamental standpoint, because oil is going up and the Canadian economy is very much an oil, gold, steel type economy. And the recent steel tariffs, most American imports of aluminum so on come from Canada, and they're not going to be subject to it. So Chinese steel may get whacked with that, but Canadian steel and metal won't. So there's an interesting line of support there. It's according to a bullish pattern. This 40 weeks going up. It's crossed over there, and it looks like the support around 76. Let's check the daily chart. So there's a line. It sort of just tapped below it in the week, broke it a little bit. It wasn't a particularly strong line anyway. The 50-day is above the 200-day. Interesting point there. I mean, if I was going by the 40-week, it's kind of below it right now. I'll keep an eye on that one. If it gets back above the 200-day, 40-week, might be interesting to look at. It sorts out a pattern, but the fundamentals for that, you know, could be looking very good indeed. I'm a technical guy, but you know, I look at the fundamentals. If the two match, then that can often be a good perfect storm. So that is all for this week, and I will speak to you next time.